Okay, Chandra, rock it away. Okay, so this is an introduction. Chandra's going to give a workshop today on design thinking. So this is part of our leadership involvement process as well. One day, all of you probably will be up here too as well. So let's give Chandra our support. Take it away, Chandra.
Woo! Thank you. So today I would like to open a discussion around design thinking. I might not be an expert on design thinking, but I would like to share what I have learned and what I have experienced during my previous project that using design thinking. But before going to the main content of design thinking, let's just have a look on the objective and the key results. So objective to today's activity is to understand design thinking as one of the methods for finding solution that is more users oriented or more customers oriented. And the key result that I would like to achieve from today's activity that the first one is Divineit could use design thinking as one of the approach of decision making process. And the second one, Divineit could integrate design thinking with agile project management. Okay. Well, yes, that's it. Now question, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry. Today's presentation outline. So what we're gonna discuss today is what is design thinking, and secondly is design thinking process. And the third one gonna be design thinking and agile project management, and the third one gonna be the fun part, simulations. And now question is what is actually design thinking? So is there anyone here that have known design thinking term? Is there anyone here that ever know what is design thinking? Or maybe heard it somewhere or read it somewhere today, yeah, design thinking. Okay, but I would like to know what is the first thing that come up in your mind if you hear design thinking. So like, okay, Jim.
Thinking that involves design.
Yeah, quite true. Okay, I would like to ask some people here, maybe Jiba, what is the first thing that come up in your mind if you hear design thinking term?
I don't know, maybe you map if it's a problem, you map a solution to solve the problem, or if it's a project, then you map steps to do and to achieve the project, more like maybe like a mind map.
Okay, so yeah, it could be a mind map. Mind map could be one of the methods that you're using in design thinking. So mind map is inside design thinking actually. And maybe another second opinion, Eddie.
What comes up to my mind, I think, is a brainstorming ideas that you kind of like just writing down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes.
Just a brainstorming
Yeah.
of a bunch of ideas.
Actually, design thinking is also, we can call it as a brainstorming, but there are some steps that you have to follow to call it as design thinking. So basically, design thinking itself, on the early usage of this term around 1969, design thinking is involving the activity of literally designing. So when the first time this term come up, design thinking is being used to describe the way of thinking or method that's being used by urban planners and architects. So it's really clearly show that design thinking is very closely related to something that literally designing thing, like designing building and designing city, something like that. But then this term is basically evolving and developing. So starting on 1991, this design thinking method being adopted in many business processes. And now many big companies using design thinking as one of their processes in solving a problems. We can see IBM company, they're using design thinking to tackling solution. Even IBM company, they have like 30 rooms in their offices that is dedicated truly for design thinking. And IBM put put more attention to design thinking as one of the essential process in finding a solution that is more customer oriented. Even Airbnb, they're using design thinking. Amazon, they're using design thinking. So we can see clearly that design thinking has become one of the essential part now in more of the growing industries. Okay, so yes, design thinking is basically.
We got you.
Okay, so design thinking is way of thinking to find solution that is more customers oriented or users oriented. So the focus in this design thinking is users. The focus on design thinking is customers. It is very human centric because design thinking understand that when a company exists because they want to solve the human problem, the company does not exist to solve their own problems, but they want to solve the humans' problems. That's why design thinking. This is the frame thinking in design thinking. So if you are practicing design thinking, you are required to understand what is the user's need, what is the customers actually want and desires from the product. It's design thinking to push creativity and with using design thinking there would be like infinite possibilities to find a solution of for humans problems. And yes, this design thinking is also aligned with our culture. We do fail fast because design thinking embrace failure and it generates ideas on creativity and logic. Okay, next. Yeah. Is there make sense? Anybody? So yep. So there are some processes that being used in design thinking. There are 5 processes if you want to be design thinking. The first one is empathize. Empathize is you understand what the users need. Second one is divine. Divine the problems that your customers facing. And the third one is ideate. Ideate is generating ideas to solve the problems that you have defined from the defining process. And the fourth one is prototyping. Prototyping is create an MPV, minimum viable products. And the fifth one gonna be testing. Testing is launch the solution and testing the solution again to gathering feedback. This process is not a linear process. It is not like step-by-step process that's starting by empathizing and then ending by testing, but you can go back and forth and sometimes it can overlapping towards each other and sometimes it could be like create an loop of this process can be looping towards each other. Okay, so let's discuss one by one from the empathizing process. Nervous ya I am.
That's Fiona. Nervous. It's muted.
Okay, the first one is empathize. Empathize process is deliver empathy to your customers, deliver empathy to your end users. It means that we as the business units have to put ourselves on the customer's shoes, so we can have a holistic view of what the customers need and desire. The empathize process can be done by doing an empathy map. So, how you can fill this empathy map? There are many ways to fill in this empathy map. The first one is through direct contact to your customers. Okay, sorry, not this one. The first one is you have to question who is actually your customers first. You have to define your end users. After you have defined your end users, then you can create an empathy map to understand what your end users need. And to fill into the empathy map, there are 2 ways that can be done. The first one is direct contact with your customers. The second one is persona. So if you want to do a direct contact with customers, you can like sending survey to your customers. You can invite your end users and doing interview with them and then observing them, and you can divide the data into what is actually they are saying, what is actually they are doing, what is actually they are thinking, and what is actually they are feeling during your interview session and observation session with them. right? Must make sense, yeah. Okay. Or if you like, but sometimes like direct contact with the customers, it is not possible. Maybe because you are serving a very large, diverse group, or maybe your customers is not located in the same location, right? So you can use the second one is creating persona. So persona is a representative of resemblance of your end users. Okay, you can create persona. Like many, I think all of the company have data, right? Like we are here has Tableau as a data, and we can use the data like Tableau to create a persona. So persona should have name, should have face, like you can put a photo of the persona, and they should have a background story. But persona, it is okay if persona is just makeup character. It is okay that you just create persona and it is not a living person because you create it based on your data. As long as the background story here could resemble or represent your end users. Persona, not only one. If you are serving a very diverse group, you have to what is it? You have to mengelompokkan this divided divided the this group into some type one, type two, etc. And you can make one persona for each group. Okay, let's make a persona here. As an example, we are as Bukit Vista, we serving Airbnb users that coming to Bali, right? I would like to have here, let's say Jeff. Jeff is 25 years old, quiet, handsome, love surfing, coming from Australia, love his fiance so much, and he loves Bali, of course, because he loves surfing, right? And he likes to spend in the area in Bali where the waves is very good, right? And he is an Airbnb user for let's say 5 years already. This is our customers. Just okay. From these stories that we create about Jeff, we have to put ourselves on Jeff. We have to like pretending that we are Jeff and with this background story, and then we can writing here. What is actually Jeff said when they are booking up from Airbnb? Anyone ideas what is actually Jeff said? Eggy.
I want to stay close to the beach that actually has a good wave.
Okay. I want to stay beach. Near beach. Anyone again? Why, Anna?
How much it costs to rent a football?
How much? It's cost
Per day.
to rent support per day. Anyone again? Yes.
I prefer one bedroom villa because I want to stay with my friends.
Okay. Yes. One bedroom villa. Let's stay with fiance. Oh, my writing is so bad, yeah. Now going to what is actually the Jeff do during his process of renting space in Bali. Surfing. Okay, surfing. Another one.
Relaxing.
What?
Relaxing.
Relaxing. Mas Bayu.
Finding a good discount for long stay.
Finding good discount for long stay. Okay, anybody else? I would like to, yeah,
Finding a scooter rent.
finding scooter rents, so like searching, yeah. Okay, now going to what is the Jeff thing? Think is not what they are saying. Think is like something in the back in their mind that they are not saying aloud. So it is very different with saying. It's what they are thinking.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be in Bali.
Excited is feeling. Thinking maybe
What is the good way?
thinking about good weather and wave. Thinking about weather and wave. Another one. Yes.
Think about how far the place from the beach.
Okay. Thinking about how far the place. Space. Another one. What is Jeff thinking?
How's the like, comfortable room?
How's comfortable the room? Anybody else? Yes, you want?
How accurate the information in Airbnb to the reality.
Yes, how accurate. How accurate. Right. Now, what Jeff's feeling? Yes, Jeff.
Can I be your secretary?
Oh, yes, sure.
Alright.
Sorry.
Okay.
What is Jeff feeling? Yes, Windy.
Insecure.
Insecure. Why is insecure?
Because maybe that it will not become like his expectation when
Okay.
he arrived.
Right, insecure. Another one?
Excited.
Excited because coming to Bali. Another one?
Falling in love.
Nervous.
Confused.
Yeah.
Why confused?
I think it's related to the thinking before. So probably he also thinking, should I spend more money on Airbnb or should I spend money on the party?
Ah, I see. Confused. Another one? Okay, I think worried. Yeah. Worried is the same with insecure. Okay. It can do much, a lot. We can like put more here actually. But we have description from here, yeah, right? After we develop this empathy map, we have to see what is the pains that Jeff faced during the process of renting to Airbnb. What is the Jeff pain here? Pains.
Okay.
Yeah.
To upload his ID and the process to become the Airbnb member.
He is already an Airbnb for 5 years.
Ah,
He is not the first time using Airbnb.
I see. Select the property that you wanna be, where you wanna be.
Okay, select the property. Maybe I would like to. The pain is. He don't know that the room that he want to rent is fit their expectation, or the description is clear. Pain. Second, he don't know that the budget is enough for a long stay or for staying in Bali. Another pain may be he don't know if the weather gonna be good while he's staying in Bali. Yeah, I think these of the pain that we can describe from Jeff, which is the pain that he got is he don't know whether he got to find good property. He don't know whether the property is filled his expectation. He don't know that the budget is maybe fit with his money, and he don't know the weather uncertainty there because he want to go to surfing, right? So this is the empathy map. This is a map to know your customers' feeling, saying, doing, and thinking, and then to find the pains that they got from this thing, right? Now going to the second one, which is divining. We already got this data here, and then I'm taking the data to then divining a problem statement. In defining problem statement, we have sometimes we have to go back again to collect more data, and we have to embrace ambiguity because we really don't know what is they actually need, right? So we have to embrace any possibilities and dividing as many as problems that we could get from the Jeff pain. Okay, so anyone, if we already got these empathy maps and we already got the pain from Jeff's point of view, what is actually the main problem that Jeff face when they are in the process of finding property through Airbnb? Anyone? The problem statement. Yes.
I think the problem is that he needs to find out what he is thinking and asking in each property on Airbnb, and that's a big pain for him. So that's a big problem.
So to like getting inquiries to each property, no?
Yes, that's one of the problem that he needs to send inquiry to each property to ask this question.
Okay, so
Or no complete information. That's the problem.
okay,
No-
no complete information.
No one-stop information.
No one-stop information. Okay. And Jeff need one-stop information, yeah. Jeff need one-stop
Oh.
information. So another one, the problem, the problem statement from this data. Maybe I would like to. The problem statement gonna be fitting the budget with just budget. Another one. Yes, Mas Tendi.
Finding the activity if the wave like not good.
Ah, right.
So they have to find an alternative.
Right. Because his pain is about the weather uncertainty, so we have to give them another activity option. Right. Yes.
I think the overarching thing is uncertainty. How can he resolve his uncertainty about budget? How can he resolve his uncertainty if the room is right for his fiance, for his own personal hobbies, for all the requirements that he has? All this stuff sort of smacks of uncertainty. And if there's one way to resolve that uncertainty, then his problems seem to be solved.
Mhm. Right. Okay.
Okay.
But the whining is more like a questioning though, so it
Okay.
to make it more structured and to make it more clear what is actually there. The
Ah,
purpose that
exactly.
it is.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Probably coming from here, and it be.
One big problem. If there's no solution to this problem, then Jeff might be canceling the trip, or maybe just pick any random accommodation.
This is the problem from us. We have to see the problem for personal point of view. So it is about Jeff problem.
Mm.
It is about Jeff problems that we want to solve the Jeff problem. Okay.
Providing a solution by asking question what gap need.
Put the perspective on Jeff. Pretend that you are Jeff and you have a background here, and then you have to put yourself in Jeff. So it is the way of Jeff thinking, not the business thinking. It's the way of Jeff thinking. Yes, Diba.
Maybe if Jeff already found the perfect property for him, but we have to remember he is bringing his fiancée, right? What if the fiancée doesn't like the property like he did?
Okay, the problem is problem for Jeff. What if the fiance is not agree with the Jeff? What if the fiance of Jeff is not agree with Jeff's choice of accommodation? Right. So we have a problem statement here that we want to solve, and then so we can go to the next step, which is sorry, not for the typing. Idea. Right. So we already have a problem statement that we want. This is all the Jeff problem. What we want to do after that is generating more ideas on how to overcome Jeff's problem. In this process, quantity is over quality. So what we want to do in idea process is collecting as many as ideas that we could get. And usually design thinking is being done across departments. So the solution is not only, as a example, it's not only from the reservation team. It could be from internal tools team. It could be from market building team. So it's collaborative ideas from all departments. And there is no wrong ideas in idea process. So all people who are joining in design thinking, they have the same voices to say out loud their ideas. Usually we are using this one.
What is that?
What is that? Is this a sticky note? So everybody just have their sticky notes, and then you can write as many as you here and put it here as example. Right? Do you want to write any ideas? Mas ba yun?
Pass it up, and then I'll pass it up for you.
If you can write as many as idea you have to overcome the Jeff's problem. Here's their problem.
Mr. Speaker, can I erase this so that we can create?
You can create as many as idea you get. Even that's an absurd idea. It is okay if it is not doing with relevance, because in design thinking we find no focus on relevancy. And isn't that out of the box maybe? And yeah, design thinking actually promote you. You can come into the front and put it on the board here by yourself, yeah.
Ooh, fun.
Sorry, Masiski. Come on.
Okay, so now we want to solve.
Maybe we can do it until 11:40, yeah? 30. Yeah, 30.
Give them 1 minute.
Any ideas that come up in your mind?
Should I stick
Yes.
here?
And actually in design thinking it's not discussion because it's all over in your mind.
Okay.
Right. You have to find a solution from Jeff's problem. Here's the Jeff problem. And don't think that your idea is wrong. Don't think that your idea is not relevant. It's okay if it is well for you. It's absurd. Just voice it out. Because here we find quantities over qualities. We can take care of the qualities later, but now we are finding quantities.
Just go.
sorry, one idea, one paper. No, one idea, one paper.
Oh.
One idea in one paper. So we can move it out later. One idea, one paper.
You start reading these and wait for it to be.
Okay. So the first one is create listing that give one-stop information that cover all Jeff's needs. Okay, all Jeff's needs. Second one, provide a video of the property of choices. Okay.